Hey everybody, it is Kid Cadet, joined always by the beautiful and fantabulous Miss Danica Jenelle. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing well, coming from a different place today, so it's a little weird.
Where are you at currently?
Laramie, Wyoming.
Population, who knows? But that's all right. Welcome to Rock Around the Ring. We are super excited to get tonight's party started. I see we already have a bunch of people in the chat room. So without any further ado, let's bring out our very first guest. He is the one and only Milo Beasley.
Hey, Kid Cadet. Hey, Danica.
Hi.
Milo, what's this like for you to be on somebody else's show?
I don't know. I didn't have to prepare any questions. I'm all like sweaty palms now because I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I just have to answer questions and not ask them. So it's super weird.
You're going to be just fine, my friend. We got you.
All right, well, let's bring on our second of three guests. So today we are also joined by the stunning and, of course, incredibly talented Nina Bergman. Yay!
Woo! Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you, Nina?
I'm great. I'm hot. It's really hot here in California.
Is it?
Baking, but I'm good.
It is also quite hot down in Miami, but we're surviving by staying inside. So I'm like thrilled to not be in the heat. But we're about to round out our panel, ladies and gentlemen, the also sensational Josh Petersdorf, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you're the greatest thing I've ever seen. Oh, hey, everybody. How you doing? Good to see you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much, GalaxyCon. Good to see you, Kid Cadet, Danica, the wonderful Nina, and Mr. Milo.
Hi.
What's up?
This is awesome. And I also want to say we have a special guest in the chat room. We have Guy Hutchinson coming in live from the chat room. So I'm sure we'll get a couple of his comments up on the screen as we go along. I know. Come on.
You're my boy, Guy. Check out Guy's book, free plug, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boop, and all the drinking recipes you can do from Drunk on Disney, right?
Oh,
Excuse me. You owe me for that, Guy. You're
Somebody's already boozy.
Yeah, is he drinking?
Yeah. What do you have, Josh?
This is just a Diet Pepsi. It's very innocent. I know. It looked very silver, like it was a Keystone or something. It's like, I don't start drinking wine until we take the baby on a walk, I would say.
But I think that this is also a very important question, Josh. Does this prove that you're a Pepsi over Coca-Cola man?
You know what? My parents would think it was sacrilegious because I grew up in a Coke household. Bricks, pounds, pallets of it all the time. Dad and mom were like really into Coke. That sounded really wrong. So,
yes, correct. Very wrong.
But mom and dad really like Coca-Cola. Like my dad and never drank beer or anything like that. They drank Coke. And so growing up, I hated Coke. And when I married my wife, she's like, I'm a Diet Pepsi girl. And so over the years, I have become a Pepsi man. So I am a Pepsi man, I would say. I'm a Pepsi man now. Coca-Cola products should be thrown in the trash. I
was going to say, if someone goes back and edits this, Josh, they just got a free voiceover from you saying, I'm
Pretty
a
much.
Pepsi man.
Yeah.
There was a game on, I think, N64 and PlayStation 1 called Pepsi Man.
Really?
Some fun internet YouTubing. If you guys want to go down a dark hole tonight, check that game out. Pepsi Man. Yeah.
All right, I'll take a break from Unsolved Mysteries to watch Pepsi Man.
Is that going to be your new character at FSCW?
FSCW? You know what? If we can find enough 12 packs, I'll wear the suit. I'll come out as Pepsi Man and break another bone in my body because I'm so brittle. I still am recovering from the evil attack by Skeletor. It's been tough these couple months, but
I think this is actually like the perfect place to start. Is the three of you have been involved with FSCW, which is Fantasy Super Cosplay Wrestling, and some of you are newer members than others. But let's start with Mr. Milo Beasley over here. Let's start at the very beginning. Milo, how long have you been in the professional wrestling world?
Oh, this is 2020, so 22 years. I started in training in June of 1998.
Wow. When you were 2 years old, or like how old were you?
I started training the week I graduated high school, and then so I was training, had a job at a casino, and was going to college full time to earn a stupid degree that I've never used since. But, whatever. But yeah, so I was doing all of that for like the first 4 years, training, school, working, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. And I also have to shout out Josh Martin,
Wow.
another one of our special guest commentators for FSCW. Josh, we love and miss you too. He's, of course, the voice of Boo from Jack and Paul Z. So, Milo, when did you start working with and participating with FSCW? And who was your first character?
It was Spooky Empire 2. So not this past one, but the one before. So I guess that'd be 2018-ish, I guess is when we started. And I was Michael Myers from Halloween. So that was really, really cool. I was super, super nervous about that one because I was like, man, he's such an iconic character. I don't want to screw this up. I wanted it to be super believable and not people like, oh gosh, like, look, this guy's trying to be Michael Myers. So I was super nervous about that, but I guess I did a good enough job. I got invited back. Did from there, became Vega. Actually, no, from there, my very first FSCW besides Spooky Empire, I was Shocker because everybody is Shocker when they first begin. It's almost like it's like a tryout character. They're like, okay. So after that, I became Vega because we had to find a way to hide my beard and do something with my long hair. So Vega was perfect. And he did a bunch of flippy flop jumping moves. So even in my old age, I was still able to do some of them. And then I cut my hair, which was super scary. But I was able to use that in the Peter B. Parker character, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's a good fit. And of course, currently, one half of the reigning and defending tag team champions.
No, we lost.
Yikes!
Sorry about that, Peter.
Yeah.
But it was great. Like when I watched Spider-Verse in the movie theater, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy
That's
is
so
me.
wrong.
And then it just worked out to where I got to be Peter B. Parker, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan as it is. So to be able to be a Spider-Man and to be the best Spider-Man is super awesome.
Epic.
Yeah.
Well, then let's see, Josh, can you tell us what is the first match that you remember either attending or watching live?
Okay, so I have several stories. I've loved wrestling since I was like 8 years old. And the first thing I ever was the Papa Shango Ultimate Warrior angle when he stole one of the Ultimate Warrior's fluorescent tassels and threw it into a cauldron and cooked up an evil black magic voodoo spell, and Ultimate Warrior was violently throwing up backstage like Exorcist style. I'm 8 years old and it was like a Saturday night and I was like, what is this? And I watched like the whole thing. I get chills now thinking of it. They got me so good because as soon as he started throwing up, I got up and I ran to my mom. I was like, Mom, he's really hurt. There's a guy throwing up. The Ultimate Warrior is vomiting and this evil man took his tassel and he's not okay. And he just left the ring and he grabbed his stomach. That was the first time I ever remember watching wrestling. And my mom told me that night, she goes, well, you know how wrestling is, and kind of shattered the fourth wall for me. And I was like, oh, I didn't care. I go, well, that's why he's mad, because they told him he couldn't win. I was already about business the first night. I was already like about business. Now, the first time I ever got to see it live was in 1998. I went to the Royal Rumble in San Jose, California. And this is the first time that Stone Cold Steve Austin ever won the Royal Rumble in the WWE. So it was a pretty big night. And it was also the night that Shawn Michaels broke his back, who's my favorite wrestler. And I had this really weird curse because the next time I saw wrestling live wasn't until years later at a Raw in San Jose when Shawn Michaels was with Chris Jericho, who you've recently had on as well, Le Champion. And Chris threw Sean into a TV, and Sean got all this glass into his eye, like straight shoot. And so I was like, man, I got really bad luck every time I watch Shawn Michaels wrestle. He really hurts himself. So when I saw FSCW for the first time, I was instantly hooked, and I was so honored and thrilled that they wanted to even let me come out, and I would manage Roadhog and Junkrat. And then one thing led to another, and I just kept showing up, and they're like, you want to, our commentator is not here tonight. Do you want to try this tonight? And I was like, I would love to. So it was really a dream come true. And I've had some of the best memories of my life with the cast and crew of FSCW. So I have nothing but great memories about the whole gang. Yeah, even with Milo, like, you know what I mean? We always hang out at the cons, and I pick his brain about stuff. So
yeah, Josh was actually with FSCW before I was.
Really?
Because, yes, I remember. I think the first show, or maybe it might have been the second show, but I was actually just there hanging out, wanted to see all the guys, because that's what you do. You just show up. I met Josh, and I interviewed him for the Milo Beasley Show, and we've been like super close ever since, and I love it. He's been amazing.
It's my dude.
Well, Josh, you were speaking about very special moments, and hopefully we have this footage that we can roll, because I'm not sure, who knows, but you are a one-time Toxic Crusader champion.
That's right.
And we have
here it is. Look at that. Here he goes. Look at now. He's going to look to the left, to the right. Throw it on. Throw on the worst Boston crab you've ever seen in your life. Here it is.
Oh my God.
Here it is. The human centipede, Realize, right here, champion. Look at that. Oh no. Oh no.
Cut this part out. Cut this part out quick. Wow.
But you look good doing it in your tracksuit.
The young boy suit from New Japan, the boys always request that I bring it every show now, so I do. And what a great, and you too, Kid Cadet is also an ex FSCW Toxic champion as well. So we share some gold there, girl. We share
that we gold. Do champions, and okay. I'm not sure, Josh, I believe that when Nina came in to start commentating for us, that you weren't at that convention because you had just had your beautiful baby girl.
Yes.
So, and congratulations, Josh.
Thank you so much.
Angel and so beautiful.
Thank you.
In your absence, we were gifted with Nina, who... Nina, for your first time commentating, you did a sensational job. So what was that like for you, being at the convention and just kind of being put into this commentator's chair, and they said, okay, go do your thing. Oh, here's another picture.
Yeah. It was surreal. I mean, I'm there signing, and all of a sudden I get pulled out, and I get in, and I was like, and I'm like, who's who? What is what? Who's that? What? Yeah, kind of like one of those. And then like half an hour in, they're like, oh, you should do it. You should come and do the next one. You should train, and then we should you know what I mean? So it was like, I got sucked in immediately and felt at home within like 5 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, I like these guys. They're like my kind of people. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, you did a great job, and hopefully, once everything is back to whatever normal may be in the world, then we can have both Josh and Nina at the same commentating table watching Milo win his next championship. So
that would be amazing. Watching Milo fall from the rafters with top rope cross bodies, you maniacs. I love it. I'd love that'd be amazing.
That was an accident.
Yeah, I was gonna challenge Milo, but I never got a chance because everything got shut down. I started training. Yeah.
Well, I think we're starting a challenge right now. I think we hear that you're saying you want to challenge Milo for the next championship. So, I know a couple people that can make that happen. So,
Oh yeah.
What did I do?
Well, hook me up.
Okay, girl. I got you. And I actually wanted to ask Danica because, she's relatively new also to this whole wrestling world. And what was that like for you as a fan watching your first FSCW event? Because you got to see Nina and you got to see Milo as well.
We did. Yeah. So it's wild, watching these people that, I work with on the side as moderators and panelists. And then all of a sudden they transform into these like massively awesome wrestlers. I'm like, wait, I did not know that person was capable of that. Like, it is wild. And it's just so much fun to watch and be at those live events. Like, I highly recommend, if anyone has not been able to be a party to these, please do yourself a favor. It's so much fun.
Awesome. Thanks for the plug, girl. We didn't have to pay her for that one. All right.
Hold on. What is with this? How did? We're not getting fights? No.
Oh, the comments coming up?
Yeah, the comments.
I don't know, Milo.
You're already getting heat, bro.
What did I do to deserve this?
I don't know. All right. Well, Danica, why don't we segue away from the wrestling for a little bit?
All right. So, Milo, can you tell us a little bit more about, because you have 2 different shows. So can you tell us a little bit about This Week in Disney and then, of course, the Milo Beasley Show?
So I've been doing the Milo Beasley Show for over 5 years now. And it just started off as something stupid. It was, what would a talk show look like if it was operated by a homeless man? And I started doing it, and then I started falling in love with it. Just, and I got to interview my friends and stuff, and then it started developing into interviewing musicians and athletes, and then celebrities, and then I started sneaking my way into conventions and befriending people. And next thing I know, I'm part of the GalaxyCon family. But so I've just been interviewing folks, trying to, create, the foundation for an actual talk show. And then I had actually quit my job in February to pursue a full-time talk show. And then I don't know if you guys know what happened in March, but the entire world shut down. So I was so my entire plans to build my studio and to have people come in and do a talk show, interview style show, and do segments and film all this stuff just came to a halt. Mm-hmm. And next thing I know, everybody is doing interview type shows over Zoom and stuff. So I put some of that stuff on hold, but I still wanted to do something. So I started doing This Week in Disney History, because I'm a huge Disney fan. So it seemed like the next logical thing to just talk about Disney. And it's just easy for me to do so because I love it. I have so many pictures from all my trips. So I just want to put that stuff out there. So it's just a continuation. It's like a different version of the Milo Beasley Show, where it's just me talking instead of me interviewing. But I felt like I wanted to keep doing something. And so it was great. And I have a ton of Disney friends out there. So it's really cool to be able to chat offline with them about the stuff that I'm talking about during the week.
Perhaps like Guy, for instance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly like Guy.
So, and I know the week is somewhat fresh, but
Yes.
Can you give us something that may have happened this week in Disney?
So today, in 1925, Walt Disney and Lillian got married. So Walt married his wife today in 1925.
Wow.
Happy anniversary.
Right? I was not invited. So,
how rude.
Right? After all I've done for them, all the money I've given. But something that happens this week is actually the opening of the Disneyland park. So Disneyland opened in 1955 this week.
Wow.
So happy 65th, and did I do the math right? 65th anniversary to Disneyland.
Nice.
That's very cool. Wow. Awesome. Yay, Disney.
Yeah, I could go on. There's a bunch more nerd stuff about what day it actually opened, but I don't know if we want to go deep into.
We'll just have to watch your show this week.
Exactly. It's all in the show. Watch it.
Good plug.
Yeah.
Good plug.
Okay, so to segue a little bit away from Disney, so both Nina and Josh, you are voiceover actors, which is so cool. So I wanted to ask the both of you, and I guess we can start with Nina. How did you both get into voice acting?
I'm an actor, so, and I never wanted to do voiceover, and I have an accent, so I have to work really hard on being American you know? And I wanted to do the mocap and I wanted to act. I just didn't want to do the voiceover. So I was kind of forced into it. You know, it's one of those where, you know, sometimes you do well at things you don't want to do, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Like, I just didn't want to do it, but I got sucked into it and then I got hooked. You know, it's just so much fun. You know, you show up in your slippers, you do it from home right now, COVID time. You do it from home. I mean, it's like, you know, for me, I always have your hair, makeup, this, that. And I'm like in my PJ, I'm like, oh yeah. And I love it. And I do a lot of accents. So that's fun. Yesterday I played French, yeah. And I did a French song and, you know, all this stuff. It's just fun to get to play. And it doesn't, for me, it's a little easier than, you know, hair, makeup, set, the whole thing. It's still a new world for me. So I'm really intrigued and I love it. And I'm going to continue in it.
Awesome.
Yes.
And what about you, Josh?
There was a time I woke up under a dumpster and a man had a microphone. He said, "Say something here, fun." No.
Was it Milo?
Wouldn't that be a great way that it actually happened? So, you know. When I grew up, I watched a very specific voice actor by the name of Lorenzo Music and another one by the name of Frank Welker. And these guys did everything. Frank Welker is Fred and Scooby-Doo, Ray and the Real Ghostbusters. Lorenzo Music was Garfield and was Peter Venkman in the Real Ghostbusters. And I grew up with these guys like always in my head. I was an actor too as a child. I did a lot of theater. I did a lot of plays. And I won the speech contest for like 4 years straight in my school district. So I was always speaking in front of a crowd. And through high school, I kind of went the sports route and I played water polo back. And this is like back before swimming was cool, back before Michael Phelps and like Ryan Lochte made like, it was like the Body. It was like, no, we were like the chlorine mutants who like lived in the pool at like 5:30 a.m. and we all hung out together. And
okay,
like,
I want to see that show. I want to watch the chlorine mutants.
Chlorine mutants. Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So when I got out of high school and I did a little bit of college, it was weird. Like my first year of college, 9/11 happened and it kind of changed the world a lot too. And so I rethought kind of my strategy of like, what do I want to do? And I kind of just started working and I kind of left school and I missed performing really bad. So as the years went on, I always was trying to like get back at it, get back into it. And then one thing led to another. And a lot of my close friends went back to school to like specialize at a place called Expressions in Emeryville in Oakland, California, which is basically like an MI. It's a Musicians Institute type of really high caliber sound recording and video game design and everything. It was really great school. And I was one of those kids who like, I never paid tuition, but I was the guy who would just tag along and I would sit in class for free. And they were like, hey, if you want to come sit, like school was really cool about it like that. You know, they were like, if you can always bring a guest. And so I'd get a guest pass and basically would, you know, go to all these classes for free. I started doing free work for my friends. And then one thing led to another. And it was like, do you want to move to LA? And I had the opportunity to move from the Bay Area to LA when I was about 29, 30. I did. I waited tables and bartended like everybody does in LA. And I got a job at a theme park. Speaking of theme parks, at Universal Studios Hollywood, which I still hold to this day as when we opened up as Optimus Prime. And I got a job doing Optimus Prime's voice. And that really was a huge confidence booster for me. And from there, I started really taking it seriously. And I started seeking out classes. I would go to a weekly VO class and I would see this agent every week. And she started knowing I was serious. And then about a year and a half passed and a fellow voice actor friend was like, hey, this agent you were seeing is holding a meet and greet. And it was one of those things when you have to pay like $100 to perform in front of her and another agent. And unfortunately for maybe 8 out of the 10 people there, it was just a kind of a waste of $100. But for two of us, it was a big jump off because it proved to the agents like, hey, you guys are kind of serious. We know who you are. You paid money to see us. What are you doing right now? And I explained. She signed me, the wonderful Michaela Stepanovich, known as Michaela Hicks now. I got the Overwatch audition later that year, and everything kind of clicked into place. I started booking roles. I got World of Warcraft, League of Legends. It was just, and then we were off to the races at that point, you know, and you can only hope and dream that you ever get to be a part of a project as big as something like Overwatch or World of Warcraft. So that really kicked it off for me. And that was 8 years ago, you know what I mean, now. So here we are, still moving, still doing stuff. I have a bunch of stuff coming out that I too finished recording from the closet back there. It's all in the closet every hour. Feel the power. So that's how I got started. And it was my dad likes taking credit because he's like, I always did voices for you. Oh my God, Dad.
So did you have that voice when you were like 9?
I got made fun of by my mom because like when my voice dropped, I would always do. I was always leave me alone, like one of those kids. It was very squeaky and
No.
yeah, I was a very squeaky kid. And then then it's just my grandfather had this voice that was, Joshua, you better shave your face because you'll never get a job otherwise, you know. And it was a very regal tone, and I think I stole it from him a little bit. I think it comes from Papa.
Wow. Well, both you and Nina are part of 2 of the largest video game franchises out right now. So that is so epic. That is absolutely incredible. Actually, okay, Danica, why don't you ask your question, then I'll circle back to mine.
Yeah. So we wanted to ask you, Nina, a little bit more about your music. So can you tell us a little bit more about your band and like who or what bands would you say are your biggest influences?
Linkin Park. Growing up, Linkin Park, and then for sure, and then Chester kind of took me under his wing and helped me out, and I started doing shows for him. And I grew up in Europe, so anything like dark electronic, like from Depeche Mode to Garbage to
Love Garbage.
And then when I came here, I discovered 9 Inch Nails, and I was like, oh my God, like no tattoos, no black hair at the time. And he's kind of like me, and he's saying everything I feel, but you know, because my thing was I did hard music and I was very angry, but I didn't look the part, you know, kind of, you know, people like, you know what I mean? So so I went to musical theater school. I went to NYU, and
that's
I went to Juilliard and then transferred to
Oh my
NYU,
God.
and did musical theater. So I've been singing my whole life, and you know, hence the voiceover, you know, always been in front of a mic. And then, and then I was just one of those angry chicks that needed to get it out, and I needed an outlet, you know what I mean? And then at the time I was an amateur boxer. So I was like, I'm going to make music that I can box to at the time. Yeah. That's how I got started. And then, you know, bouncing around like how I did, music kind of was the only thing I had, if that makes any sense, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
Saved
have
my life.
Music saves a lot of lives, for sure. Do you have any Chester stories that you can share with us that maybe come to mind?
With him, I mean, I don't, you know, I met him in the studio. We shared the same drummer. He took my drummer. He started a band on his own, and he took my drummer. So we were like, you know, I was in the studio. Like, he was just extremely nice, funny, sweet, thoughtful, lighthearted, you know. You would think a superstar is not humble, personable, you know, great family guy, just nice, good human being, you know.
Wow.
So with demons, I guess that he it was in his music, but you know, we didn't feel anything, you know. Yeah. So but I mean, I toured with so many. I mean, I toured from, I don't know, I think my first big tour was like Meatloaf. I opened for Meatloaf.
Milo.
Huge Meatloaf fan. Huge.
What was that, Milo?
Yeah, huge.
You huge Meatloaf fan?
Huge Meatloaf fan. Yeah,
I got his signature right here.
I've seen him like 5 times.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. Yeah, I've been front row for Meatloaf.
Front row for Meatloaf is
yes.
You know, with his shirt like opened up and his
which is going to be the front row for
Really?
Meatloaf is going to be the name of my autobiography. So
I've
no,
been
yeah.
front row for a meatloaf dinner. We've actually had him. We've had him at a couple conventions at GalaxyCon. Yeah.
Yes, we have. We were supposed to have him again, and I was super stoked about that. But yeah, he was amazing. So again, GalaxyCon plug. If you ever get a chance to see Meatloaf at GalaxyCon, we say we close at like 7, but if there is a line for Meatloaf and it goes till 8, he is pissing off everybody on the floor because he is still there, still signing, still taking pictures, still like having a ball. Meatloaf is the man when it comes to meeting and greeting at GalaxyCon. G-plug.
Wow. And Nina, you got a tour. Like, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. I toured with a lot of fun ones. Who else? Tommy Lee, Ludacris, like a whole bunch. Like.
Just
Casual.
Whatever.
I'm thinking if there's anyone at Comic-Con.
Just pick up that name.
Was that when he was in Methods of Mayhem, or was it just Tommy Lee's own band?
Tommy Lee, he has his own thing. I did a reality TV show with Tommy Lee and Ludacris called Battleground Earth on a tour bus for 3 months.
Wow.
Me, him, and Ludacris.
And you survived. That's impressive.
You made it.
And and it kind of groomed me into who I am, I think. Because if you can survive that, you can survive anything.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been looking for my next show to binge watch, so that just made
it was quite interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we would play music, and it was about the environment, and we would still do music, and it was music related, But it was a reality TV show. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So to maybe segue again just a little bit, all three of you guys, like, voicing nostalgic characters from video games. So I want to know, for the three of you, what is your favorite nostalgic video game? Whether you're a part of it or not, just your favorite nostalgic video game.
Whew, what a rabbit hole to go down. I mean, there's so many for me. I can go first if you guys want to think and list off my 10. So for me, there's 2 video games in my life that really stand out. The first one is Super Mario World on Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so hard to get a Super Nintendo back then, and it was really rare. Like, you were either like a Genesis house or you were a Super Nintendo house. Like, you rarely had both, right? So that was the first game. And then I want to say like Final Fantasy 3 was the game that really like blew my mind open, like crying to like pixels and text, like in the opera scene, like, this is so good. Like, it blew my mind. And then I got to say, like, later on in life, a game that saved my life was probably like World of Warcraft, because I have a 14-year-old son, and when me and my son's mother split up, it was a tough breakup, and I was kind of down, and I was a little depressed, and so it was around 2008, and that was right when World of Warcraft was kind of picking up steam. So I spent my nights, instead of like going to the bar drinking with the rest of my friends and doing stuff like that, I was playing World of Warcraft, and it really got me through the community and meeting a lot of people. And then now being part of the game was like, whoa. So
that's
it was all meant to be. You know what I mean? That's how I always justify it to my wife when I play video games now. I'm like, babe, it's destiny. Like,
if I play this game, then I'll be in it.
Right? Hello. So she's one of those, like, where does it stop? Where does, like, in the garage right now, I'm such a nerd. Like, I've been like tinkering. I have an N64 set up on like this old like 18-inch TV, and I have a Genesis out there, and SNES Classic that I hacked and added 300 more games on it. I'll just stop because I'll just keep going. So.
You are amongst your people right now.
I know. These are my people. I love it. So I grew up. It's just a really fun industry for me, video games in general. So
awesome. Milo or Nina?
So I wasn't super huge into video games. The only video games that I really, really got into were sports games. So like my favorite game on the original NES was Little League Baseball. It was amazing, and I could
not RBI baseball. Little
no,
League
not
baseball.
no,
Okay.
not RBI baseball, but
Okay.
Little League Baseball. And then I played a ton of NCAA football. And then in 2007, right? 13 years ago, yeah, 2007, I think 8. I got at EA Sports, and the very first video game that I worked on was NCAA football. So that was a dream spot to be able to work on the game that I had played for 10 plus years at that point.
It's like, Josh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
They telling you it's destiny. It's
Yeah.
manifest
Love
destiny.
it.
Yeah.
And what about you, Nina?
Well, I have a guilty pleasure because I was doing the Doom movie, and so I had to do research. So I had to sit and play video games all day because it's research. I had to like learn how to shoot those demons and all the different levels before I go and shoot the movie. You know what I mean? And then I had to do it in virtual reality. I had to learn all the different kind of things.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't really, but that was my excuse to, sit there and play all day. And so I got really sucked into it.
I had a friend who did makeup on Doom Annihilation. Dan Gilbert was doing all the demons and everything. Big burly guy with a big beard, and he also worked at Universal with me and did Megatron and Optimus. And when I posted that we were doing the show, he messaged me and specifically was like, "Nina Bergman is a freaking badass," and she, you know what I mean. He was like, "Tell her she's so cool," and was a class act, and I was like, "Absolutely." And so he said that where you guys filmed it, it was in Eastern Europe, or I forget the country.
Bulgaria,
very Eastern European. He said it was a country of like nothing to eat but pork and cheese, and like so he said you were a vegan too,
so
right?
You could just imagine, so it was like
you were. He said you never complained, and you were
was
always a champion, and you had nothing but high words to speak of you. I guess he did the makeup for like the demons and stuff like that. So.
No, he built them.
He did like all the
like
sculpting and the masks and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
RB,
and the saliva. You know what? Yeah. When you see them running, they're like real. They come after you and like they're drooling on you and like they open their mouth and it's like you didn't
Necessary
have to act.
FX, I think is his company name for a quick little drop there. Shout out to
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was
That's
also going to say, like, Danica and I, like, that was our game. We were Doom kids. Like, we would play. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I still remember some of the cheat codes from
I do too. Like, I remember
like 15 discs too. You had to like put 15 floppy discs in like a 480 to play it in 1996. Like,
yeah. So that is, oh my gosh, I love it. Okay.
Awesome.
Danica, I think we should go to the game just for time purposes. So we are going to play a game of Would You Rather. And let's see if these graphics work. We're not sure. The internet's a little choppy. But if they do work,
Jude,
maybe possibly. Okay, we do have graphics. Okay. So like I said, this is a game of Would You Rather. And I guess, Danica, why don't you go first to read?
All right, let's start it off. So your first option, would you rather play Street Fighter for 24 hours straight or play Mortal Kombat for 24 hours straight?
I mean, I'm obliged to say Street Fighter, right? Since I spent 2 years as Vega.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna go with.
I would say Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I'm with Nina. I'm going with Mortal Kombat all the way too.
Kombat,
I'm a Mortal Kombat
definitely.
kid for sure.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Now, to get really specific and nerdy, I'm going to go with Mortal Kombat Trilogy as my favorite one on either N64 or PlayStation 1. I'll accept either one of those. Mortal Kombat Trilogy was the highlight of the series, in my opinion. So, thank you.
Wow.
Josh, did you have a go-to guy?
Yes, Smoke. Cyborg Smoke was my go-to guy, and I'll never forget. That was really cool because it was Mortal Kombat had like that history of being really violent, so it kind of like started a lot of stuff in Congress about censoring video games, and like they wouldn't show the blood on certain consoles. You had to like type in the code. And then I remember you go to Disneyland, See, call back here. You would go to Disneyland to play Mortal Kombat, and they had all the blood turned off and all the fatalities. I'll never forget that. I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
We need the fatalities.
You need the fatalities. I want to see heads rolling. So.
And speaking of Disney, by the way, Milo, we did this background for you with the 2 Mickey Mouse heads. So
I like it.
we hope you appreciate it. All right, here's the next question. Would you rather perform or attend the 1969 Woodstock, or perform at or attend Coachella?
I think it's a no-brainer, no?
Yeah, it's
Woodstock.
a no-brainer, obviously.
Yeah.
Woodstock?
Woodstock, yeah, right?
Coachella's so hot, too. It's like you're just on a field. You're on this giant, like, dust bowl. And, Woodstock all the way.
And I don't know the people who play Coachella.
Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Next president?
Nah.
Yeah. Hopefully. All right. Here's the next one. Go ahead, Danica.
Here's our next one. Would you rather take Lady and the Tramp for a walk or take Pongo and Perdita for a walk?
This is cute. I like this one. I'm going to go with Lady and the Tramp for a walk, because we would stop by the Italian place and I'd have some pasta on the way. I'm fat like that. I don't care.
I'm going to go with Lady and the Tramp based on their size, because you get 2 big Dalmatians and they are taking you for a walk.
Yeah.
I respect that. Okay, Nina?
Yeah. I'm the same. I would definitely take those 2 on a walk. Yeah, definitely. Again.
Well, the Dalmatians
No-brainer.
clearly have no respect. They're just
To
wild
me.
breeders. They just can't stop having children. They had 101 of them.
This is
Out
true.
of control.
Good for her.
Good for her. I know. Like, she's like the Duggar of the Dalmatians.
Oh man.
And Lady and the Tramp, they look like rescue dogs. To me. Like cute little rescue dogs.
Yeah. Adorable. All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather? Okay, this one's tough. Have to drive to every location, or you're allowed to fly, but you always have to have a layover in Atlanta.
No. Do you hate people?
It's almost as bad as like Dallas. Atlanta is almost as bad as Dallas.
Atlanta
Atlanta
is the. Maybe we just do a lot of more stuff. I mean, because we're out of Florida. A lot of us are out of Florida.
Yeah.
So we always have to go to Atlanta. Gosh, it is the absolute, especially if you're in a time crunch.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm driving at that point.
I'm driving. I'm driving too. I'm grabbing the boys and maybe some road sodas or whatever, and some pork grinds or just some potato chips. Let's go. Let's go.
I want to do the Route 66 drive.
I just recently did a drive. I drove from Los Angeles to basically western Wyoming, eastern Idaho Falls. It's a 13-hour drive. Was hardcore. Let me tell you, it was hard.
Yeah.
Hardcore. It's a hardcore drive.
Yeah.
What about Nina?
I'm driving too. Yeah. I mean, I fly all the time. Driving. I'll do Route 62 as well, but on a motorcycle. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like with
definitely
all the open
on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Man, you're such a badass. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good badass answer for sure.
You win. All right. What's the next one?
Our next one. Would you rather voice a character from your favorite nostalgic video game, or voice an original character in your own video game franchise?
This is kind of messed up because I've done both, kind of. I feel like I've had both. I've been lucky enough that I've voiced a character in World of Warcraft, which is a nostalgic video game, and I voiced an original character, Roadhog, in Overwatch. So I'm disqualified from this one.
Okay, fine.
And you created that one yourself?
Well, I didn't create the art,
or...
but I created the voice in a sense, right?
Cool.
So I feel I feel like Roadhog was kind of like Dr. Claw meets Megatron with emphysema. Is a good way to like describe how he sounds.
You make emphysema sound great.
Yeah.
Don't smoke, kids. Don't smoke.
All right. So Nina, what do you think?
Definitely voice an original character. Yeah.
All right. And Milo?
I want to voice Pac-Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neato.
Okay,
Right.
she said, I love it.
All right, here's
Okay.
the next one. We have, would you rather always have to wear Crocs or always have to wear jorts?
What does he have in that picture that he's like laying? Are those like books or
Yes,
it's like
those
Xbox
are-
One games? What is
No, those are the books. I forget what they're called. When you transform from an animal or from Animorphs. Yeah, he has Animorphs books.
Oh.
a
wow.
young Jude? Is that who?
My husband, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, where did you find that?
Google is a weird place.
Crocs. I would definitely wear some turquoise Crocs.
Okay.
I've never worn Crocs, but I have worn jorts. So,
You're a wrestler. It's a rite of passage.
Right.
It's like-
Yeah.
I used to have Jenko jorts.
Oh my
And-
god.
Inco Jorts.
Yeah, and the pockets went literally all the way down, basically to the bottom of the hem on the shorts.
Oh no.
Jinkos, dude.
I just
Thank
admitted that.
you.
I just admitted that on the internet.
Yep, and it's here forever. So
I too have never worn Crocs. I have dignity, but I haven't worn a good pair of jorts in several years because they're constricting, and I don't know how like John Cena lives his life in these jorts, like perpetual jorts. But
he's a constricted man. I don't.
you know what? I'm gonna have to go with always wear the Crocs because I just can't be constricted. So I'm just gonna take a risk.
What if we just roll up to the next GalaxyCon in jorts and Crocs?
And Crocs. Yeah.
Fine. I'm into it.
I'm gonna sit down at the commentary desk and be like, "Go get them, guys!" All right.
And then Nina rolls up on her motorcycle in
Yes.
her Crocs, and we're like,
Yes.
"How did you look that good?"
Badass music playing, some metal and everything. Love it.
All right, what's the next one?
All right. Our next one is: would you rather get
Wow.
mentored by Frank Welker or mentored by Peter Cullen?
Ooh.
It's just like asking you, is it Jesus or is it Christ? Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going with Welker all the way. Nothing against Peter Cullen. I've met him several times and he's a class act, but I'm gonna go with Welker.
Fair.
I've never met them. I'll go with Peter.
I moderated for them last show. I don't know if I'm allowed to answer.
Oh, you can answer. You're allowed to answer. That doesn't mean you like one less than the other.
No, being up there, they did. So they did a Optimus Prime and Megatron soliloquy that was amazing. But I'm gonna have to go with. I think I'm gonna have to go with Frank Welker here.
Very fair. All right. I think we have maybe one more. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I think this is the last one. Would you rather sing a duet with Timon and Pumbaa or sing a duet with the genie? This is hard. This
I'm
is a
thinking
good
hardcore
genie.
about this.
Yeah.
Genie. I'm
I'm
gonna go
with
with
a
Genie. I love me some Robin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Genie for sure.
I think if you do a duet
Yeah.
with Genie, he just overshadows you. So I think you would be more in the moments by singing with Timon and Pumbaa.
Very fair.
You would get more of a shine yourself because Genie's just gonna. Robin Williams is just gonna overshadow you.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So you're not even gonna be there.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's the genie.
Considering I'm not a singer, I'm not the one with the voice here. Maybe that would be better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fabulous,
Waiting
Harry. I love the feathers, he says.
Oh, wow, Robin Williams. All right. Well, we are about time right now, guys. So before we wrap this up, do you guys have any final thoughts that you want to leave us with here today?
I just can't wait to see you guys again. I can't wait. I don't know if hugs are still a thing, but I definitely can't wait to hug Josh. It's been way too long. So yeah, I just can't wait to see everybody again eventually, whenever that's going to be.
Yeah,
I will
same here.
say, I'll say second. I'll leave the last words for Nina. I'll say, stay safe. wear your mask, and so we can get over this sooner rather than later. And again, stay close to you and yours. Have a little bit of, this is a very trying, be patient, have some patience. And we're going to get through this. It's just going to take a little bit of American ingenuity, a little bit of American stubbornness, but we're going to get it. So it's just, we're going to get there. So stay safe and take care of yourself and be good to yourself and those around you.
Nina,
Yeah, I can't really top that. I mean, I just say ditto. Yeah.
Ditto.
I feel exactly the same. And just stay creative. I think it's really important to stay creative and, just don't shut down. Because it's so easy to get, deflated,
For sure.
But like hanging out with you guys just lifted my spirits.
Well, we should definitely do this again. I feel like we didn't have nearly enough time. So let's plan this again in a couple weeks. What do you guys say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Josh, we had a request for you to sign us out as Professor Snape. So if you don't mind, I hope...
There is quite. Look, it even knocked down her laptop computer. The power of the dark arts. I have seen your GalaxyCon, Harry Potter, and I am not impressed at all. Perhaps a bit of Wolf's Bane would spruce up the old alchemy formula, Potter. I saw you gander it. Now I'm going to go to the Sweeney Todd, Alan Rickman. We're going to pivot here.
Yeah.
I saw you gander at her. Pretty women, always dancing. Pretty women, staring through the window.
I mean, I don't think we have a better ending, but we do have to say tune in tomorrow to tune in for Talks Comics with Michael Broder and Patty Hotkins. And next week we have Jeremy Furstenfeld, and we also have Matt Novetsky. They're coming back from Blue October. And be safe, everybody. And we will see you guys next week. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Thank you guys so much.
We're back.
Bye, guys.
Bye.